do have a special guest with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just put the mic there, and I'd like to introduce to the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, of course, my son, my baby, my pup, Mr. Frankie Doodle.
It's just good to be here, and I think we're in for a good night. We're going to have a good night tonight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Where are you going? I'll come with you.
No, I think to get everybody in the mood, we should just do a quick exercise. Everybody copy us both. Everybody raise your arms in the air. Come on, everybody raise your arms in the air. Wiggle your fingers. That's it. Now gently bring your arms down and place them on the lap of the person sat next to you. We're all friends now.
Oh, it's great to see everybody. And you know, that royal wedding, that made everybody happy. Wasn't that sensational, that, ladies and gentlemen? Eh?
You saw it, yeah?
I did see it, but we didn't have a street party.
Why not?
Well, we live on the top of the hill, you know. And last time we had one of those, the cracker cracked slipping down the table, you see. So that's why.
You know, obviously there's been a lot of trouble out in
I
the
thought
middle.
that would have went better. But I'll tell you something, I got very excited because, Frankie, this isn't in the script, but now that we're here,
Yeah.
do you know, when I did a show, a Royal Children's Variety, Princess Margaret came up along the line, right? Close the door. Arthur, I don't want this to go any further. Now, I'd only ever seen Variety. I'd only ever seen not Variety.
Royalty.
Royalty, correct. I'd only ever seen royalty on a postage stamp.
Right.
So when Princess Margaret came up to me, guess what I did? I licked the side of her face.
It happens. Well, of course, you know, there's been a lot of trouble in the Middle East, but a nice story about the Middle East.
Right.
Because we're all familiar with Liverpool Football Club.
Oh, very much.
Apparently, they've just signed a striker from Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
All the way from Afghanistan, they've signed this star striker. He played his first game only a couple of nights ago. He scored a hat-trick. Absolutely amazing. He rings home. He's so excited. He rings home. And he says to his mum, he says, "Mum, you won't believe it. My first game for Liverpool, and I scored a hat-trick." And the mum said, "Well, son, that's great news." She said, but what about what's going on here? It's awful. She said, "Today, you know, only me and your sister, we were mugged. They took all the money. By the time we got back to my house, we'd been burgled, ransacked. And your brother, he's left home and he's joined the gang." And he says, the football player, the striker says, he says, "Look, Mum, I'm so sorry about this." And she said, "So you should be. It was your idea to move to Liverpool in the first place."
Oh, it's a cracker. So we tell them.
But now, obviously, so it's great to be here. Listen, tell me what. I haven't seen you all. How was your week last week? How did you get on last week?
Right, well, on Monday, I went to the barber's. He said, "Do you want your hair cut around the back?" I said, "Is there no room in the shop?" He said, "You know, it needs cutting badly." I said, "Well, I don't want it cutting badly, I want it cut properly." I mean, how do they get the jobs, these people? That's what I want to know. And he couldn't shave. This fella could not shave. He cut me here and twice here. He said, "Do you want your head wrapped in a towel?" I said, "No, I'll just carry it home as it is." Then on Tuesday,
It's been a long week. Stick around.
see, we don't get the service.
No, we don't.
I rang up Piccadilly Railway Station. I said, "What time does the next train go to Glasgow?" He said, "Look it up online." I mean, how dangerous is that, eh? So I went to the ticket office personally.
Yeah, that's good.
I said, "Mr. Personally, come here. A return, please." He said, "Where to?" I said, "Back here." I mean, where else? I mean, how do they get the jobs? That's what I mean. I said, "I want to go to Glasgow." He said, "Change at Dumfries." I said, "I want to change here." But I got my own back.
Yeah.
I got my own back. I bought a return ticket and I never went back. And this fella came up to me on the train. Yeah, the two of us were on the train. Oh, there's more. He said, "Which stop's Carlisle?" I said, "Well, watch where I get off and get off 2 stops before me." So, but Frank, listen, I don't want to harp on about, how are you getting on? Lots of people ask me, how's Frank getting on in college in Ushaw?
Well, I mean, as you know, only about 2 weeks ago, the family came up to visit me.
Oh, how did they get on?
Well, we went out for a day trip in the car, and we drove around a little. But unfortunately, a little bit sad, I actually crashed the car, and and everybody ended up in hospital.
Oh, well, how's the mother-in-law?
It's not good, you're not going to like it.
Why not?
I dropped her off before it happened.
So, just thinking how long you've been studying now for the priesthood. Didn't you start off a year in Spain?
Of course, that's right. Yeah, I was in Spain for my first year. Went out to Spain and entered into the culture. I spoke the language, and I had the Spanish tapas food. And,
Did you meet any senoritas?
if I did, do you think I would have gone to seminary? No, but I tell you who I did meet. I met this guy who was basically he worked for the Spanish Bullfighting Federation out there. Basically, what he did was he basically sailed all around the world.
Oh, right. He wasn't like a friend of mine, Jim Moriarty. He took his left leg off because he wanted to sail around the world single-handedly.
No, it was a different guy. So anyway, but he reckons that he sails all around the world, and he finds in different parts of the world, in America, in France, in Egypt, he finds the best prize bulls.
Yeah.
To bring them back to Spain for Spanish bullfighting. In fact, he's got his own cruise liner, he's got his own cargo ship, and basically he ships them back to Spain. He reckons his turnover is £2 million a year.
And do you believe him?
Not a chance. He's just a bullshitter.
We weren't sure about that one, but Now listen, Frank, how long have you been in seminary now?
Approximately around about 4 years, 7 months, 52 days, 7 hours, 16 minutes and 15 seconds. But it's flown by.
Well, take us through it again.
Well, you see, what's trying to make a laugh? Didn't buy into it the first time around. Oh yeah, well basically I started off, I did my first year in Spain.
Yeah.
Did my first year in Spain. And then of course I've been in Durham for the last 4 years.
The northeast, yeah.
Yeah. In the northeast for the last 4 years, Newcastle. Yes, I started off in Spain for 1 year, been in Newcastle for 4 years,
Yeah.
and I'm about to go to Birmingham for my last 2 years.
Well, don't worry, son, because you'll soon get an English-speaking college. Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Doodle for the time being, but he will be back.